Welcome to Week 6, where we'll explore ethical considerations related to non-profits. Now, I like the fact that our authors devote an entire chapter to non-profits. The reason is that there are some unique sets of ethical issues that are worth exploring when it comes to non-profit. One of the things that our authors describe is the responsible advocacy that is required for public relations professionals, because they need to pay as much attention to the public interest as they do to their own organization's interests. Responsible advocates also have to respect their publics and strive to provide them with accurate and complete information regarding their organization's decisions. Now, that's the advice that's specific to nonprofits, but I would offer that you could open that up to just about any organization. So look at your own ethics in terms of the advocacy that you provide for your organization and the balance that's required for the public interest. So that's from our chapter 5 in our text from Fitzpatrick and Bronstein. One of our readings this week is from 2009, the author is Freeman, and the author talks about how activists face special communication challenges, and these special communication challenges require unique communication guidelines. And those guidelines are most relevant to social media organizations, or what the author calls SMOs. They compare the 5 principles of the TARS, T-A-R-A-S, which we learned earlier in the course, with the unique communication challenges of those social movement organizations. As a reminder, T-A-R-A-S stands for truthfulness, authenticity, respect, equity, and social responsibility. I also encourage you, as you read that 2009 piece from Freeman, go over those guidelines that are set up for social media organizations. Those begin on page 283. I think there's some good advice there for not only nonprofits, but something you can take regardless of what type of organization you serve. Finally, our reading from Rode and Packle, also from 2009, those authors review the ethical issues specific to charitable organizations. And they offer some ways to promote ethical behavior within the organization. Now, I suspect that most of us give to charitable organizations, so as you read this, I encourage you to personalize it. Think about one of the charitable organizations to whom you contribute, and think about how their ethical decisions might be made, or what's important to you as a person who donates to that charity. The authors also talk about this notion of an ethical climate. They describe an ethical climate as the moral meanings that employees give to workplace policies and practices. The moral meanings that employees give to workplace policies and practices. Now, I don't know about you, but when I read that, kind of makes me think that perhaps I should review my own ethical climate within the organization. And so I encourage you to do that as well. Again, we're trying to apply as much learning as possible throughout this course. And then finally, nonprofit executive and board members should be willing to ask uncomfortable questions. Your authors give some of those uncomfortable questions. I'll share some of the uncomfortable questions that I use when I provide media training to senior executives. And I refer to the questions as the 3 M's: mother, members, media. Can you explain it to your mother? Can you describe it to members of your organization? And will you be able to defend it through the media? Now, those are the questions that I use when I do media training. I'm sure you have some uncomfortable questions that you could use when it comes to ethics and ethical practices within your organization. That's all for this week. As always, stay ahead with all assignments, stay engaged in the discussion board, and enjoy this time of learning.